Long-time viewers of the channel may remember my Microsoft Xbox. It's suffering a multitude of different problems, but I think we may have just figured out the cause of half of them. So, last time, my Xbox had a Samsung DVD-ROM drive in it, and doing some extensive research on the system itself does reveal that the Samsung DVD-ROM drives are, well, they're in a bit of a turf war. A lot of people say, hey, these are the best drives ever made, and other people say, oh, these are absolute crap. So I happen to know a friend who also owns an original Xbox, and I said, hey, if I give you my drive, can you give me yours? So he said, sure. So I now have this Thomson Okumco Shenzhen Co Limited drive, which is, weirdly enough, it's not the Thomson that makes skyboxes, because there are two different Thomsons apparently. And I stuck it in my console, thinking, well, maybe something will happen. And I'm delighted to announce, if we just wait for the boot up process to complete, we notice the Microsoft logo at the bottom actually shows up now. And if we wait a little bit longer, look at that, the dashboard shows up with our clock screen. Now the unit will do the orange light of death thing, but even more news. We've actually discovered the cause of that as well, and I will just quickly pause the video and I will show you why. Thanks to the amazing people at the console repairs server, I have discovered what potentially could be the cause of the orange light of death. Now, initially I did think it was this, the ADM1032 temperature sensor, but after finding some photographs of some schematics of the entire temperature sensor pinouts, so basically where each trace goes into the MCPX, etc., there was this capacitor underneath the temperature sensor, which is C6F2, and I don't know if anyone else can notice that, but one side of the capacitor has gone dull. Now normally that's called blue balling, and normally that's also the sign the capacitor may have developed a short. But either way, it is corroded and may not be giving an accurate reading, because this capacitor is on both the temperature, the temp plus and the temp minus voltage lines. So this may be giving a false reading that the console is overheating. So it may just be this tiny capacitor and not the chip here itself. So I think if we get rid of this capacitor, we can see. Well, we need to take some measurements first for the multimeter. But as soon as we've done that, we should be able to get closer to getting the Xbox functional. Now I have scrubbed the system again with some more IPA, but it does still seem that there's crud around. It's not as bad as it was, but there's room for improvement, definitely. I mean, this whole area around here was affected. Theoretically, it's basically spread up through here into the problem area. It's also spread out around these caps down here, but I don't know what they do. My board is a little bit dirty from all the scrubbing it's gone through. I've also gotten rid of that strange 1.4 marking here, because this is 100% not a 1.4, this is a 1.1. Because of the power cable and the fact the GPU doesn't have a fan on it. And, well, yeah, I've got a Connexent video encoder, and our JTAG is exposed. So on and so forth, so many different features. Also, I think the RAM is manufactured by Samsung, not Hynix, so it's not a 1.6. So, we're finally getting places with the original Xbox. And I'm delighted to announce something else I've discovered, is the original Xbox is not actually black. My original Xbox is very, very, very dark green. Now you can't really make this out on the camera, but it is in fact green. It's not black. Some Xboxes are black, but a select few of them are green. Which is really interesting. Didn't know that. I'm kind of torn if I want to buy the shell of an Xbox Crystal Edition and shovel this technology inside it. But I don't know, I kind of like the black shell, because it would fit with the other consoles as soon as I've put the Slim 360 somewhere else and put the Jasper 360 in its place. Then a row of black consoles, that would look very sleek, very stylish. Either or. Fan is in good condition, although I still haven't taken the fan out and cleaned it. Don't know how. I've tried prying everywhere, but I don't want to touch the power supply, so... I mean, it's not bad. It's a little bit dusty, but it's not like bad. These RF shields rust, similar on vintage Macs. It's common. These metal shielding will always rust. But aside from that, it's good news all round. Anyone else who has any other ideas as to what they think about C6F2 causing the short circuit, by all means, shove it down below. And yeah, I shall come back in the next video with maybe an episode of Let's Fix It dedicated to fixing the Microsoft Xbox. Bye for now.